Tim never pictured himself in sales. He'd earned his helicopter's pilot's license in New York, his commercial pilot's license in Michigan, and he'd graduated from nursing school in Seattle. He had flown hundreds of patients per year to emergency rooms by medical helicopter. Tim was proud of his work, saving lives. But Tim was frustrated. Competitors in the medevac business were crushing his business. So Tim asked me, how do I convince hospitals that our flight program is better than the competition? He asked me. I mean, we're cheaper. I tell him that all the time. In fact, we charge 38% less, he told me. Now, Tim was so convinced of the incredible value he offered, he pitched his services solely on price savings. After he told me this, I paused. Do you have any children? I asked him. Yeah, he said, my son is 11. Imagine, Tim, I said, getting a phone call. It's terrible news. Your son has suffered a snowboarding accident, I said. It's life-threatening. In the moment you receive that call from ski patrol. Now let me ask you a question. In that moment, Tim, do you care at all about the price of emergency helicopter transport? Absolutely not, Tim replied. Well, neither do your customers, I told him. They care about one thing, saving lives. You're focusing on the wrong benefit. What's the real metric hospitals use, I asked him, to judge medical helicopter companies? Survival rate, Tim told me. Perfect, I said. So what's your company's survival rate compared to that of your competition? It's 1,000,000 times better, Tim said. Really, I exclaimed. How come? What makes the difference for you guys? Tim replied, well, we have much better medical practitioners, he assured me. We're farther away, so it takes a little longer for us to arrive at the scene, but the quality of care we provide more than makes up for the slight difference in arrival time. Tim then told me a story about a high school boy who was recently in an accident. The competitor's equipment broke down, he said, so we transferred the boy to our helicopter. We had to resuscitate him 3 times on the way to the hospital, but he arrived alive. We returned him to his family 3 days later. He continued, 2 weeks went by. He said, I was sitting in a Starbucks when a middle-aged woman recognized me, and she broke into tears. She said, you saved Brandon's life. After a bit of coaching, Tim changed his presentation. Instead of talking about price, he focused on the emotional benefits of using his company. He didn't shy away from asking customers a very straightforward question. What's more important to you in choosing a provider? Speed of arrival or number of lives saved? I spoke to Tim a month after our session. He just landed the biggest contract in his company's history. How? He'd simply asked the right questions and told the story of saving the high school student. A few years ago, neuroscientist Antonio Damasio revealed a groundbreaking discovery that's very relevant to the story I just told you. He noted that people with damage in the emotion-generating part of the brain not only couldn't feel emotions like love, jealousy, or pride, they also couldn't make decisions. Not even insignificant decisions like choosing between a hamburger or a chicken salad. His research proved that the rational mind cannot make decisions without involving the emotional mind. I find most sales training teaches you to sell to secondary motivators like saving money or getting a nicer model. And while for years my training is centered around selling to several of these core emotional motivators, new research reveals for the first time the new, most effective, high-impact motivators that will drive customers' decision-making. When you, as a salesperson and companies, connect with customers' deep emotional motivators, the payoffs are huge. Advertisers drive our purchase decisions by linking high-end kitchen stores with elegance, insurance with peace of mind, chocolate and diamonds with romance, and even tires with the safety of your children. In my new book, Heart and Sell, I detail the 7 high-impact motivators that guide all decision-making. But I don't stop there. I also reveal the pitfalls of not uncovering core motivators. how to demonstrate actionable value with your prospects, how to avoid confusing your prospects by giving them too much information, why information doesn't sell products, and why you, the salesperson, are more essential than ever before. Today, companies invest in big data and analytics in the hopes of learning about their customers' emotional motivators. While you may not have a multi-million-dollar advertising budget, you do have access to something much more potent. You are face-to-face or on the phone with your customer. You have the ability to create trust, build rapport, and ask questions. You can find out their unique emotional motivators and tailor your presentation to match them precisely. And in this chapter, I will provide you with tools to do just that.